Good morning, fellow killers and fellow survivors. Today I have a Demogorgon game for you, with a really fun demo build that I've been using, and it's pretty damn basic. As you can see, Leprous Lichen, Red Moss, two very fun add-ons. Together they work quite well, which is quite rare, honestly, for most ultra-rare add-ons. Usually, in my opinion at least, they're not really fun to use, or they require too many objectives to be met before they're able to be used. Not even too many, it's just like too strict. These two are just OP, honestly, and I wouldn't be surprised if they got nerfed if the Demogorgon was a more played killer, but luckily for us, it isn't. So, Leprous Lichen. After I emerge from a portal, you see the aura of all survivors for 3 seconds. On Red Moss, it takes 15% longer to emerge from a portal, but after emerging, you're undetectable for 8 seconds. That's strong. And you're also silent when you come out of the portals to begin with. So, you can see how these two would be very powerful used in combination. And you can also see how different these two are compared with a lot of other killer add-ons. Usually other killer add-ons tend to be like, there might be a detriment to one, but also a strength, similar to the Red Moss, where it takes longer to emerge from the portal. But you get undetectable, which is a massive, massive buff that's worth the offset of Red Moss. It's incredibly good. Incredibly good. And in combination, these two can make you the stealthiest killer in the game. More so than Ghostface, more so than Tier 1 Michael, more so than pretty much any other killer. Undetectable is a very strong little effect. It's a very, very strong little status effect. And it's only when you're playing Demogorgon with this build that you realise how strong it actually is. So of course this footage was recorded in without me actually recording my audio over it. So barbecue and chili, because the more aura reading effect I can get from the game, the better. And it of course helps with Leprous Lichen. Lethal Pursuer, because it prolongs Leprous Lichen's aura reading effects up to 5 seconds, up from 3, which is really nice. And it is nice to know where the survivors are at the start of the game. Although every single game, without fail, I forget to look around and see where they're placed. But it's mainly just very good in combination with Leprous Lichen. And if I would move on from that, it would be very useful, but I really do like Leprous Lichen. It's a very good perk. I think you all know how Lethal Pursuer works. Fearmonger, because we are going to be using the disabilities of the survivors to our favour and our strength here. And of course, if we can make them blind and exhausted as well, by all means, great. Now you would be surprised how many survivors do not pay attention to what's going on around them. Like, you'd be surprised, even like long time players, 1,000 hours, 2,000 hours plus, they do not look. And blinding the enemy, well, the survivors, it hides your red stain, your cone of view for killers. They don't see it when they're blind. So if they're in a generator, you can come around a corner from behind, they won't see the stain, and you'll grab them off the generator, and they will not have a chance to react. I'm also using Franklin's because I hate flashlights, even though they're not as strong as they used to be. And we'll go with an Ebony Memento Mori. So, I have had success with this build, and I think it's pretty easy to see why, or you will be able to see why from this game. And this team did the right thing. They continued to work on gens as much as they could, and if the Demogorgon wasn't as mobile as it is, this wouldn't work. Teams that tend to get to gens and try to get them done as quickly as possible, this build is strong against them, because you will be moving around the map as long as you're very, 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 very prudent with your portals. You won't have any issues. And I have to admit, the Demogorgon was a very daunting killer whenever I first got him. I don't think it has a gender. It's just a thing, an evil thing from the upside down, whose chin I want to scratch and I want to give him belly rubs because he's a good boy. But the portal's power, it can be a little bit overwhelming to begin with. Like, you feel like you need to put them all down, but you're not sure when to do it, and you don't want it to interrupt your basically you're just chasing and down the survivors. You just want to keep it going, keep the pressure on, and you can feel like the portals slow you down on that. No, once you have the portals down, as long as you place them well, they will be a massive, massive benefit to you. Like a massive benefit. Kind of like Trapper. If the Trapper spends some time at the start of each match placing his traps in high traffic areas, choke points, then you can chase survivors into them and, you know, you win, basically. So I'm going to put one here on the stairs because just up there in the middle, the big room, there is a generator at the top of the stairs beside the statue, just around the corner from that stairwell. I'm going to put one here in the armory and storage room, or whatever it's called. It really was just like an armory, wasn't it? Like with locked cabinets in the game, RE2 remake. I can see they're over there. I mean, there's nobody working on gens here at all. So they have to be over there. So let's go and have a wee look. But you wouldn't believe how many killers ultra rare add-ons just do not work well together. And I have to admit, this team might have been a little bit newer to the game. I'm not sure. They were all on console, so we know I couldn't check their playtime. But they did well. They tried to focus on gens and help on their team. And this build, if you haven't went against it before, or even just the Demogorgon who's using his portals quite a lot, it can just be a massive, massive shock to the system for survivors. Especially lately with Wesker always being behind you. You always know where he is for the most part. But this Fang, that undetectable, it allowed me to get a lot closer to her without her panicking than, you know, it would have otherwise without that add-on. So we'll throw her on the hook down here. And we know where the rest of them are. I did see them out of the corner of my eye. They're up there on the right. We're just going to see if we can get a decent spot for another portal. And there's Meg. Brave, brave Meg. Best survivor in the game. Put them here. Okay, let's go and have a wee look, see where everyone is. I did expect someone to be already there unhooking them, but no. And so far, out of like the 3 to 4 games that I've had on Demogorgon with this specific build each time, this map has been very good for it. There's a lot of like corners and just little areas where you can put your portals where they might not see them the first time around. And I did see the person up there on the generator out of the corner of my eye there, just rewatching it, but I didn't see them originally, unfortunately. I was a little bit distracted with what the main 3 were doing over here on this side of the building. I mean, look at how strong this is. Look at undetectable. It resets as soon as you emerge from the portal. Because that's the other benefit of the red moss. You're silent when emerging. It's so strong. That just wore off there after she vaulted over that, well, vault position. And we have flanked her. Good awareness. Good map awareness is always good as well. And I'm still trying to get used to the rework of RPD. You know, the 2 wings, or the 2 sides of the map that can potentially spawn. But so far, so good. I mean, it's a very aggressive build. You're very active. You're constantly patrolling gens. And watch this. It's so satisfying. I mean, for games of this length, where you're not really doing long chases, you know, you're not getting as many hits in because the survivors aren't having the chance to heal each other up as much. It's not going to award the most points, and you're not going to get the best medals from it, but, I mean, efficiency is efficiency. It's just fun to see, like, how quick and how on the ball you can be with this build. And that's not usually my playstyle, but whenever I just started messing around with the Demogorgon, trying to become better at it, it's so much fun. So much fun. A little bit of an early pallet pull there, unfortunately. And I wasn't even sure if the Demogorgon would do the leap up the stairwell. But it worked. Not even the stairwell, sorry, like the fire escape, whatever you want to call that thing. Just the stairs. Okay. There's one over there. Can't see the other two, so they must be fairly close to where I hooked her. Within barbecues. Oh, nope, there's somebody on this gen. Oh, they're not. They're healing. Okay. One hit. Now we'll just kick the gen. We'll kick the gen and we will go and do recon again. Down here to try and cut them off. Oh, and there's one down here. Oh, here we go. Oh, they're going for the vault. Did we get them? Oh, we got them. Nice. Nice. Oh. Meg. Up you come, Fang. It's okay. I thought playing Ghostface or what's another killer? The Pig. You know, they made you overly paranoid about where they might be, looking over your shoulder all the time. But this is just a whole other level. Now, a good counter to this might be destroying portals, but again, how often are you going to come across a player doing this? I mean, how often at the moment do you come across a player playing Demogorgon, a killer, playing this killer? It's not that often. So many people just don't know how to handle it. Destroying portals as well might be one way to deal with it. But even at that, that's going to be difficult with how like shifty you are, how fast you can shift yourself about the map. I would recommend trying it out if you do have Demogorgon, and I know that you cannot get the Stranger Things pack through Steam or anything anymore. You have to go onto like a site, you know, third-party key retailer to get the Dead by Daylight, or the Stranger Things chapter. And it's not worth it, guys. I would say wait. I think there's going to be another cross promotion with Stranger Things, so I'd say wait for it to happen again. Hopefully it will happen. Oh, that's so brutal. That's so messed up. They could have made it much better by like actually having her head disappear whenever, you know, he pulled back. Luckily for you, Fang, that's not going to happen. I only got one more in this match, unfortunately. But he's such a cool killer. He really is. I really regret not buying the cosmetics for him. He's got one where he's like covered in chains. Kind of like, is it Golgoroth from Destiny 1 Kingsfall raid? He looks very similar. I wouldn't be surprised if there was influence there. Unless I'm missing some scene in Stranger Things where the Demogorgon ends up like with chains strewn around it. And there's the last one. Didn't know I was there. Undetectable, you see. But you can't tell these were maybe a newer group of survivors. She could have ran to a pallet there. She didn't. She could have ran for that vault. She didn't. But fair play to them. This is a massive wild card of a build or a, you know, a killer to go against when you're not expecting it. When the rest of the night is just Weskers dashing past you, or bounding past you in fact. Not fully grasping how the bound actually works, then you can expect the mundane, the normal. And this isn't normal. It's not an amazing build or anything. I'm not saying like this is the best thing ever, although the video title will probably say that because gotta get them clicks, bro. But seriously, it's just a fun build, man. These two add-ons, there's no other killer that I've seen. I'm gonna have to have a wee look actually just to see, but there's no other killer I've played in recent memory that has add-ons that work this well together, that are this in sync. And GG's. 24k. Very short match though. So didn't have a chance to really get the chase points in, or, you know, multiple hit points in. And I mean hit points is in, you know, multiple strikes, nice ones. Because pretty much as soon as we were like on them, they were down pretty soon after. and I'm out of the add-on, damn it. But yeah, it's a very fun build. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it. Do whatever else you want to do. I hope you enjoyed the video and hoping you're enjoying whatever you're playing at the moment. I, of course, like always, we'll see you next time. Nighty night, folks. Bye-bye.